Now people go to drama school and they know that they're going to be doing television and theatre and possibly film. The mixture of the disciplines is very important in our country. The mixture of theatre and television and film, and means that you have a complete chasm here. People don't cross-pollinate at all.
Right.
They only do. You have film actors, television actors, and theatre actors, which means it's very difficult for some people to survive or develop because each discipline informs the other. And I would have thought that the theatrical discipline is possibly the most useful as a training tool.
I would think so.
Because it's about repetition and the discovery of how to make something spontaneous without necessarily having to really experience it. And also, because, you know, you're in the wings, and when you're in the wings, you're not on, as it were. You walk on stage, and you are on, but you're on and off and on and off all the time. And it, I think, makes people quicker on their feet. I think sometimes in this country, especially with film and especially with young actors who haven't had any kind of formal training, they'll get terribly bogged down by the thing of, I've got to really feel this, instead of using a certain amount of technique and then and getting, it's a very zen process acting, because in a sense it's really about letting go and not controlling.
Yes.
But you have to learn how to do it, and theatre's a very good teacher.
The trouble about the stage is that the audience sees the whole body. They are far enough away from it, even in a small theatre, to take it all in. And of course, because they're not engaged in the action of the play, they are there only to be an audience who listen, and indeed a spectator who watches. They can take it all in with an objectivity which normally they don't apply. I mean, we're talking together now, and apart from our opening, I've not looked at your shoes once. But if I were in the audience, I could still, or I with a camera, I could take it all in. So that you, trying to impress the audience, will have to be aware of what your feet are doing in a way that you don't, talking to me, have to be aware of it. And I think that's the initial problem that an actor has to solve, so that if I'm talking to you, all I need to bother about is my feet, and I can be doing anything I want with the rest of my body, and it's not really upsetting you because you don't, you know, you're concentrating on my eyes. But all those people have seen that I'm terribly nervous back here, even as I'm gabbing on, being very relaxed. So an actor has to somehow, it's the great word all actors use, relax. And that relaxation is a technical achievement which is to do with relating, having control over every part of their body, their minds, so that it doesn't wander, their imaginations, their face, the tone of their voice, so that all those attributes can express the character that he is portraying and the intention that that character has in speaking or in being or listening or sitting still. And when you have that total control over all your attributes, you are no longer being an ordinary person. You are then playing, you are then acting. And although it looks natural to the audience, if a member of the audience were to step up onto a stage and see a person behaving, playing in this way, once they got up to him, they would say, what's the matter with this guy? He's behaving very peculiarly.
Seen close up.
Seen up close too. So it's all to do with distance.
If I don't get out of my chair right now and do the work, I'll never get up in this class. And I did. And my scene partner kind of looked across and he was like, like, I'm not getting up there with you. He was going to play my father in the scene. So then I thought, okay, Stella's my father. And I played the scene with her.
Wow.
And I thought, it's never going to get any better than this.
Wow.
I've got the best scene partner in the world.
What scene was it?
It was Chrissy in Boom Boom Room, David Rape's Boom Boom Room. And I just like had on some, skimpy little outfit, and Chrissy was like a dancer and a kind of a go-go dancer, if you will, and very troubled, young woman. And I got up and she said, "Whores! Why do they all want to play whores?" She said, "Where's your Rosalind? Where's your Juliet? Where's the Shaw? Where's the Miller? If you want to play from the street and from the alley, where's Miller? And I was just like, this is what I got, man. I got to get up. I've been putting it off, signing up and taking myself off the list for weeks.
Wow.
And I got up and worked, and, it went better than it would have ever gone, probably, without, because the stakes got raised so high. And I really I played it to her.
Right.
She became my partner.
Right.
And there was no one that I needed more approval from in that moment, which was part of what Chrissy was trying to figure out, how to make sense of her life, but she also needed something. And I needed it from Stella.
Wow.
And I finished, and she said to the class, I have nothing to say. The girl's an actress.
Oh.
So that was like, wow. But then when I was leaving, so did this to me, and I went, oh, shit. So I gathered my things. I was still in my little fishnet stockings and red patent leather rain boots with a platform and my high ponytail, and I went up there, and she said, don't you ever do that to me again. And I said, what? She said, interrupt me when I'm speaking. I was speaking when you got up. I'm not doing good, Stella. I wouldn't attempt to imitate Stella. I was speaking when you got up, and you disrespected me in front of this entire class. And they need to know who's in charge. And that should never be questioned. And for a fellow student, for you to do that, how dare you? And I was just shaking literally in my boots.
Wow.
And then she said, however, would you please take that nerve, that gumption, and apply it to your work? Why have you been so lazy? Why haven't I seen you here working before? And I remember saying, yes, ma'am. She said, okay, we're done. Work. Do your work.
Began to form who I was, not only as an actor, but helped me who I became as a person, because it gave me tools, and this sounds like wacko time, but not. But maybe you're an actor. It gave me tools so that I never lose my own voice.
Sure.
I mean, they're almost like acting tools that I can go into myself, and if I can call on those pieces of myself as an actor, then I can call on them as a human. And I couldn't do that before. I was taught in techniques, acting techniques, how to find all the ingredients of a character, be they brassy or sexual or shy or any of the things you call.
I am an observer. I feel like an alien who fell to this planet. And I remember as a kid, never fitting in, but thinking, okay, I want to fit in. I'm going to figure this thing out. And I looked at society, and I looked at how people behaved, and I thought, okay, I can try that. But the further I looked at it, the more I realized, I want no part of that. Stay an outsider. Keep fresh eyes as an observer, and be in a constant state of wonder of it all, and of how incredible it is. But there's the other side of that too, and this is true for all sweet sensitive souls or people who are awake, is that there's the darkness too, and I acknowledge the darkness, but it's about having an even playing field.
The best way to approach a character is to find all the elements that go to make up the character, to get a sense of the way he moves, what his rhythm is like, what his inner rhythm is like, how fast his motor is turning over, the tricks that he uses, his directness. There are 50 different character things that you can ask yourself about the character. You simply choose these as valid and dispose of some other ones. I think I probably make intellectual judgments about the way I want to approach a character, and then try to find the organic way to accomplish it, as compared with other actors like my wife, who goes for the organic aspect of the character first and then rounds it out intellectually. So it's whatever really works for the actor is whatever is going to work for you. There's no sense trying to impose my way of working on you if it's not going to work for you.
It's something that I feel keeps evolving. I don't deliberately go into every project going, well, this one I'm going to approach differently, I'm going to prepare for differently, but inevitably the project will tell you in some way, something in the process, in the team, in the amount of time you have to prepare will mean that it is always slightly different every time. So as much as I like to always try and have certain basics of a checklist of like, I'm going to go through the script like this, I'm going to do research like this, I'm going to kind of draw my personal, like find scenes where I can, do this, really connect with it. find, and all this kind of stuff, the checklist, certain things will fall off and certain things will come to the fore for different projects based on what the working conditions are, what the character is, what the co-stars are, if you've got rehearsals or not, So it's interesting. You go in with a template, but every project comes and like sculpts its own unique shape from those raw ingredients.
Everything is different, but it's the same checklist. So, but it's by osmosis now. I like it, as opposed to if you want to go to class and you want to train, then we can go through that for years. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a geek. You know what I mean? In that aspect of
what
your optionality is
on the checklist. What
it's
your
that
fundamentals.
osmosis. Okay, if I'm really brutally honest, I will read something, I hear it, I see it, then I spend the rest of the time until the day of the that we have to shoot it in trying to create what I can feel and see from the first read, and then make that manifest. And then I use now sort of playback specifically to see if I'm zeroing in the character in the area that I want it to be. And that's after doing it for about 15 years. Do you know what I mean? I simplified it into, okay, my first read, then trying to make manifest that, and then that's the pickup point to then push it to go further. If we're in theatre, then it gets hot, you know what I mean? And then there's the ensemble, then there's team, then there's alchemy. So there's a bunch of techniques there, but it's basic. I'll read it, hear it, see it, and try to emulate what's in my imagination.
I just always feel like you have to just give everything. It's such a honor to get to play this character. As any actor, we're fortunate to get to work on anything. And so you have to give everything, you have to put everything out there. And I've always had an image which is of Jimi Hendrix, of just him playing guitar and the ecstasy he seemed to get through that, and a story which I've never been sure, I don't really care if it's true or not, but just of his fingers bleeding, but him just sort of ignoring that, and knowing that how fortunate we are to be able to do what we do, and never complain about any of this or any hardships. Just look at the honor of getting to play such a character.
Be an actor because you love to act. Don't be an actor because you think you're going to get famous, because that's luck. But if it's what you want to do with your whole heart and soul, come on. Go everywhere. Learn everything. Learn Shakespeare. Shakespeare's great fun. Don't be thrown by the words. The words are the same words that we use, with a little different implementation, Write things for yourself. Come on. It's a great way to spend time. It's a great way to learn history. It's a great way to learn all kinds of things. But only come if you come into play. If you're not coming to play, you should get another gig to supplement your acting.
If you want to speak Shakespeare and learn about making a speech, you should listen to John Gielgud and Frank Sinatra, because Frank Sinatra presents you with the entire song. There's no spending too long on the beat, and also if you look at and you learn in the script, you know that where you must obey the what's that word called?
Well, line endings.
Yes, line endings. If you get a half line, when you see the script and you get a half line, and then the next person starts with another half line, that is all one line. If, on the other hand, you get a half line and the next person speaks with another half line underneath it, you know that in this pause to complete the line, something happens.
And it's absolutely invariable, that rule. And it's so simple, and it's so shocking that the teaching, we moan about it occasionally, that young actors now have a very, very difficult time because they don't get taught the rudiments of speaking verse. And so they try and pull it around and make it naturalistic and not see that actually you can just be truthful and naturalistic as you can with a song within a specific time signature.
You can be much more colloquial and naturalistic if you obey what he tells you, and you also will never run out of breath.
But it is an interesting way of pacing a scene. a certain way without stopping to make transitions all the time. And it also is very important because if you want to you can't make a point with laughter if you laugh all the time. You can't make a point with a pause if you pause all the time. If you really want to make a point with a pause, you better be selective about how many times you want to use it. You can't weep endlessly and make a point by weeping. You can't make a point by yelling if you're yelling all the time. So sometimes when you get an actor who has this ability to be angry or to be broken up or whatever it is, say 3 times, that's all. Figure them out, put them where you want them, it's fine by me.
He prepared us so that it would look easy, and people were impressed with us. And I carry that through to this day. I try to work very hard, and a lot of people think what I do, is I make it kind of easy. It's not, but that's a compliment.